Hi friends, it's Casey here again. We're on location and we're here at the Table Rock State Park with the park manager, Michael Trotter. And specifically today, we are in the Gaines Lodge, which is a structure here at the park. And Michael's gonna tell us a little bit more about the history of this building.
Yes, Casey. This building is one of the historic Civilian Conservation Corps buildings here at Table Rock. The CCC built it, and it's what most people would call one of the best examples of parkitecture in the Southeast. And that term parkitecture comes from the architecture associated with the Civilian Conservation Corps, where they used the native materials that were locally available around the park sites that they built. So behind us we have the granite stone here. This was quarried locally. There were two quarries within the area, one about 1.5 miles from the park and one about 12 miles away, where they hand quarried all of these large stones. And then the trees that you see here, the logs that you see, they're hand-hewed logs that the CCC guys, the oaks and chestnut oaks that they were able to fell and then hew here on the park site, and then use them to build the lodge. It's just a great building. The lodge, when it originally opened, the CCC intended it to be a community building where folks could come and gather for events, and there was actually a tea room downstairs where they sold little sandwiches and that type of stuff when the building first opened. And it's served different uses over the years. Folks may remember probably from the 60s through the early 2000s, the building was operated as a restaurant.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, and it served home-style food, so you had country ham and fried chicken and all the
that sounds amazing.
Yeah, and the community is great for the community, but it was not good for the building, because one of the biggest things with a restaurant is very hard on a structure,
right.
and one of the things that is most feared is fire, and so they were really concerned that the integrity of the building was really deteriorating, and did not want to lose such a great example of CCC architecture, parkitecture, to fire or just to the general wear and tear of a building. So the decision was made in 2005 to remodel the building, and so that was kind of a 3-year process that went from 2005 to 2008, and the back porch was completely closed in as a dining area, so that was reopened back up. One of the biggest fears whenever they started that was getting into that is that none of the timbers would be there. Well, when they closed it in, the construction crew had enough foresight to just close everything in and basically box everything around it. So when they took the walls down, all the historic beams that the CCC had were still there. So
that's so lucky.
Yeah, so that was a great lesson in historic preservation. Not to altering the structure so that you couldn't get it back to the way it was. But there was a dumb waiter kind of right over here in this corner, and you can see on the porch the evidence of that waiter, because there was like a waitress station kind of where we're standing right now. So, but we basically wanted to restore the building, protect it, and bring it back to where folks could have events here. So we do rent out the lodge.
Oh, really?
We do for events. A lot of folks have their weddings here.
It would be a beautiful place for a wedding. I'm so jealous I didn't know about it.
Exactly. And we also host bluegrass open jam sessions the second Saturday of every month. Unfortunately, with the COVID-19, those are on hold right now. We're hoping maybe in August we'll get to start those back up, and then
that would be really nice.
And then we host other community events. We have a concert in October. Usually we have some bluegrass musicians, Andy Leftwich, come in and play. And then in December we host Santa at the lodge, where we let folks come in, and we have Santa Claus, and we do crafts and have cookies and hot chocolate and everything, and just try to make it a fun time for everyone. So really just a great building, a great piece of history, and something that the folks in the community, if they want to have an event, they can rent out, or they can come to some of the community events that we host here in the building.
And where can our friends at home find more information about this building and like some of the events that you may offer here?
You can go to our website, southcarolinaparks.com, and then click on the Table Rock tab, and that'll bring up all the information for the park and have our events, links to our events calendars and everything.
Great. So make sure you're checking out that website, so when they're able to have events again, you won't miss anything that you'd love to do. And thank you so much, Michael, for having us here and hosting us in the Gaines Lodge. It was wonderful to be able to show it to all of our friends at home. And hopefully they'll be able to get up here and see it for themselves in person sometime soon.
Well,
So,
thank you for coming and visiting with us, Casey.
thank
Enjoyed
you
it.
so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, y'all.